Welcome to Storm Shelter Cinema at Arlington High School, the movie review show where movies either get a boom or doom. Today we'll be reviewing the blockbuster horror film Longlegs, directed by Oz Perkins and released in July of 2024. I'm Brayden Wheeler, and I'm joined today by my co-host Allyson Zandy.
Longlegs presents the main character, Lee Harker, a detective. Lee has a sixth sense as it aids in her character cracking cases. Due to this, she is tasked with an almost uncrackable ongoing murder case. She must soon find out who the killer is before they strike again.
For this film, trying to find an implicit meaning was a bit difficult, but in my opinion, the implicit meaning of Longlegs is about the ways in which parents protect their children and how that can often take the form of preventing them from growing up. You see this near the end of the movie with a flashback to Lee Harker as a child. With a huge plot twist, Lee's mother, Ruth, basically sold her soul to help Longlegs and the devil enact their plan to murder. She ultimately did this to spare her daughter from being killed when she was little, allowing her to grow up. But seeing someone close to her make such a drastic choice and suffer the repercussions could have left her feeling lost, confused, and even fearful as a child. And as you see in the film growing up, Ruth basically lied to her whole life about what she did for a living, who lived in their house, and what happened to Lee as a child. With finding this out, Lee is tasked with stopping her own mother from striking again to save Agent Carter's daughter.
Within the film, the camera shots and angles strengthen the watching experience. During certain sequences, the camera would be at an unexpected angle or place. This element contributed to the overall impression of the film and how it used its cinematic elements. For example, during a kill sequence, the camera was zoomed out. This gave the scene a chilling feel and added to the horror aesthetic of the film.
It was hard to say that I fully enjoyed watching Longlegs, considering I've never been a horror fan, but this movie was very effective and achieves everything a horror movie should be. It was a wild roller coaster ride from start to finish. Nick Cage does an excellent job of portraying the crazy serial killer Longlegs, and Michael Monroe does a fantastic job as portraying Lee Harker, an FBI agent hunting for the deranged murderer. The film also has some great supporting acts in Blair Underwood as Agent Carter and Alicia Witt as Ruth, both which contribute to the movie and plot very well. The movie itself wasn't as scary as I expected, but had me on the edge of my seat at all times with a creepy and anxious feel, with jump scares, plot twists, and many other complex themes in the story. And that is what makes this film unique, in my opinion. For a horror movie, I would say this film is a masterpiece. And for that, I clearly think this movie deserves a thumbs up. What are your thoughts about Longlegs?
Okay, so I did like it, and I agree with you when you said, like, it's a masterpiece. Like, I do think there were some elements that, like, made it really good. I do think it has some weak points, but as someone who doesn't really watch movies a lot, like, in general, I think, like, getting into this movie was, like, really good, and it didn't disappoint me.
Yeah, I agree. I think at some points the movie's kind of just slow developing, but
Yeah.
it really leads to the plot, and that's what I really like about this movie. You know, oftentimes you don't really think of a horror movie, you don't really think of an FBI agent chasing down a serial killer, so I think that was a good idea, especially from the directors and everybody who was, you know, making the movie itself, in my opinion. Did you think the movie was scary at all?
Okay, I think there was definitely some elements that added to, like, it being a horror film. Like, I understand why it put itself in that category, but I don't think it was that scary.
I agree. If I could rate it on a scale of 1 out of 10, I would give it like a 6.5, something average like that. Like, I didn't really think, besides from a few moments and a few jump scares, it really wasn't that scary to me. I was really just more interested in the plot itself.
Yeah, the plot was actually really interesting. Like, I think it focused more on that and the story over, like, the horror elements. But there were some, like, gory scenes and things like that. But I just think overall it definitely focused more on the story.
For sure. What do you think your favorite moment of the movie was?
I think my favorite moment was just, like, finding out, like all of the twists and everything, and, like, connecting the story together. I thought that was actually really interesting.
I agree, especially when, you know, Lee didn't know her whole life that her mom was basically working for the devil.
No, exactly. Like, that was really interesting to figure out. Like, I love movies with, like, a plot twist, so that was really cool.
Yeah, I agree, especially. I thought Nick Cage also did an excellent job playing Longlegs. Normally I'm not used to seeing him play horror films, but he definitely fit his role very well, in my opinion.
A lot of great actors in the film. So I think that's it. Thank you for joining us on Storm Shelter Cinema. We reviewed Longlegs, released in 2024, directed by Oz Perkins. I'm Allyson Zandy, and I like the movie. My co-host Brayden Wheeler also liked the movie. Give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time at the movies.